Well, good day, guys. Welcome back to another vlog. Whew, it's been one heck of a day. I know I'm starting my vlog today, but it's okay. I'm in here literally working, guys. Really working. I have to do a floral arrangement. I have to do a floral arrangement for one of my aunts, and I decided that I let me a video because a lot of people on my social media when I posted the flowers. I'm doing flowers, by the way, y'all. When I posted the flowers, a lot of people was asking me, where could I get them? Where could I get them? And I was like, well, me and my daughter just started making these flower arrangements for family and friends, and it just seemed like it's about to be a whole nother business because Mother's Day is coming, and I've been taking orders or whatever. But I wanted to show you guys because I know I do a lot of DIY. Some people was purchasing these flowers from I think we got a first bouquet. Someone gifted it to us, and we was like, "Oh, this is cute." And my daughter know I love doing flowers and just having flowers in general around the house, fresh flowers. So I was like, "Well, Ajane, let's just learn how to do these ourselves because I love bouquets and I love giving out flowers. I really do. I love giving people their flowers while they're living." So I said today, let me video or share with you guys how I actually make my bouquet. So first things first, some of the things that you may need. Hold on, guys. Let me get my mic. All right. I don't think the mic is on. Hold on, guys. I have to get my mic. Okay. So first things first, I'm going to share in my description box from Amazon some of the things that we purchased when we're doing these flowers just to make them fancy and pretty. I'll actually pop in a little clip up here of some of the things that you could purchase when you're actually making these bouquets. But the bouquets, the trick is actually making the foundation that goes around the bouquets. So these are some papers that's decorative that you can get in all sorts. Some people do them in designer paper. Some people do them in regular paper like this. They come in a variety of colors, the colors of your choice. I typically say whatever color flowers you're using, you want to complement the paper surrounding the flowers you want to use. If you want to use a multicolor like spring color flowers or things like that, typically with this bouquet that we create, we use roses only and a little bit of baby breaths maybe. But for the most part, this is a rose bouquet. So you're going to need at least 3 dozens of roses. You want the bouquet to be pretty big, so 3 dozen of roses. You can use all the same color, or you can chromatic the colors if you want. For this bouquet, we're using white roses or cream roses and red roses. Now, the person I'm gifting these to, I know they love red. So I'm going to actually wrap her roses in the red paper because I know she loves red. But the paper that actually sets off these roses that make the bouquet look grand, that I super duper always is my go-to paper, is this black and gold. And here's why. This against that always is going to eat versus this red against red. So the reason why I'm saying that is because the red against red is kind of clashes and you don't get the grand gesture of how the flowers look. But the red against the black always eat down, guys, always. So I want to show you guys how to make the foundations first, which are these. And all you need is this paper that you can purchase from Amazon that I'm going to pop in the description box. And again, I popped in the video or a clip to show you which one that you could order. And it comes in a variety of colors. You're also going to need a stapler of your choice if you have one around the house. And to make the roses set off and be nice and decorative, they have these little flower pins that you can actually like stick in. This is like a diamond, like a jewel. If y'all can see it, hold up. Let me back my hand there so you guys can see it. It's like and you're sticking this in the center. Now they have butterflies. They have what else they have? They have butterflies. They have bees. They have little birds. To make the bouquet look really nice. But today we're just going to use these little diamonds to make the red roses pop even more. Okay, so first thing first, I need a tripod so I can sit you guys up so y'all can see exactly what I'm doing. So hold up. Okay, so first things first, what we need to do is create this. And in order to create this, we're going to need the paper that I was telling you guys about, which is this, right? Now, if your paper is super wrinkled, you can use it, but we try not to use the papers that looks fairly wrinkled because it is going to show when you're doing it. So we're going to put this one to the side and we're going to get a fresh one. They come in squares like this. They come in squares like this. And all you do is just take one, unfold it, and you're going to do one sheet at a time. Not two, just one. So you're going to take one of your sheets, set it to the side. Now, I realized when I first learned how to do it that the creases should face you, okay? We're going to turn this to a diamond shape, like so. Oh, my table wet, y'all. Hold on, let me wipe my table off. The flowers got wet. Make sure you're working with a clean surface too so the paper won't stick, okay? So clean this off. All right, great. So you're gonna turn it into the diamond shape. And the first things you're gonna do is you're gonna fold this where these 2 points line up. The bottom point and the top point lines up like that. Okay? Now that you have these 2 points that's lined up, next thing you're going to do is take this crease. It should be 2 creases, right? You're going to take this crease right here that you see. Let me zoom in so you guys can see it better. Hold up. All right, you're going to take this crease that you see here and you're going to bring it to the center like that. So this is what you will have. After you bring this crease to the center, then you're going to take this crease right here and you're going to bring this one to the center. And then all you're going to do next, after you do that, they can overlap each other. That's fine. But you should have something that looks like 4 points connected like that. Then you're going to just take your stapler and... All right, just to let you guys know, you're going to make about 5 of these per bouquet that you're going to make. Now, the more fluffy you want this paper to look around the flowers, the more papers you want to use. Don't use over 6 of these, okay? Because then it's going to just look full of paper. But this is what you're going to try to create every time. And we're going to make a couple more. So let's make a couple more of those. So guys, next what you want to do is you want to take your roses and take all the leaves off of each bundle of roses. Save your rubber bands because we're going to need them. If your flowers are tied with rubber bands, you save the rubber band. If they're not, then you are going to need to also purchase some rubber bands because we're going to need these rubber bands to put the flowers together once we put them in a circular motion to display. So I try to keep the rubber bands that's given on the flowers already so I won't have to purchase anymore. But if you pop them, then you better have some rubber bands on hand. But each set of roses, you want to remove all of these leaves off of them because we're going to trash them. You don't want to keep the leaves on there because when you're laying the roses, you have to lay the stems in a certain pattern in order for them to go into a circular motion. So I'm going to remove all of these stems off. And you could get fancy with your roses too. Some things that another thing that we do sometimes, we spray them with glitter to make them more like, you know, a little bit prettier. But when it's spring, and I absolutely love doing flower arrangements. I love fresh flowers in my home during the spring. I actually love fresh flowers all year round. But unfortunately, sometimes the flowers don't be too fresh when I go get them. At the time, the flowers during Valentine's Day, when I was making these bouquets for everybody, they were $14.99. They marked up the price twice, like 2 times the amount. So now they're back down, and you know Mother's Day is coming, so y'all better get as many, or you can go to your local produce junction. But they marked theirs up too. They was like $14 a dozen, when typically they like $8.99 a dozen. So these ones I got now are back to $8.99. But at the time during Valentine's Day, these flowers went up like a whole extra $8, which was crazy afterward. But again, so now that we're taking all the leaves off, save your flower food too, because you want to put that also back in the bouquet because you want to still have these in water once you're finished with whoever you're giving them to. So now I'm doing the white ones. And this is such a pretty little gift that, you know, $8. And if you buy like I said, the flower kit, the paper and stuff, over time, if it comes with a lot. You could probably get about 3 or 4 bouquets with them papers that they send you for about $10. You can get like 4 bouquets out of them. All you got to do is keep buying the flowers. So these flowers was $8 each. So this bouquet, after it's done, is going to be so gorgeous, but it's going to look like it's like $100 and something or more, but it's really not. So it's just the effort in actually doing it. It does take a little time, but I feel like if you have patience and you love flowers, then this is the way to go. It's about to be springtime, and I love fresh flowers around my home. And this is going to be gorgeous. And when they're going to be so surprised, like, oh my gosh, so cute. All right, so now that we have all the stems off, we're going to get ready to and cut any extra little stuff that's on the flowers that's hanging off. Like these, cut them off. You don't need that. So take those off. Now, we're not going to shorten the stem just yet, okay? You can shorten the stem afterwards, but you want to make sure the roses has the long stems, not the little short babies. Don't have them already cut. Make sure your roses have the long stems. See how long these are? Because it's going to make it so much easier to actually do. So now that we have all the flowers cut, the leaves off the flowers, what we're going to do next is you don't just stick them together like this and put the paper around them. No. This is another trick that make them look even fancier, guys. You cannot skip this step. If you skip this step and think you're just going to put these together and put them in the paper, it's not going to give you what we're creating. All right, so first we're going to start with the white because I want the white roses in the center, and then the red roses surrounding the white roses. So we're going to get started with the white roses first. Okay, before you actually get started on actually making the circle roses, you want to have either zip ties that you can put together. So once you're finished creating your circle, you're able to zip tie them together so they can stay in place. Versus sometimes we use tape if we don't have the zip ties, but I feel like the zip ties are more stronger to hold the flowers together. So you want to make sure that you have zip ties on hand, preferably green, clear, or black. All right, so let's get started. So first you want to do is you got to take one rose and you're going to keep layering them in a crisscross motion where the heads of the flowers are sitting next to each other, and you're trying to create a circle with them. So you just want to keep placing them again they kind of like crossing over each other like this. If y'all can see, I'm kind of like they crisscrossing over like that. So don't worry if these are all wild and outside. This area has to create a uniformity of a circle with the flower heads. So every time you see a space, you're going to add a flower so you can make sure that they're creating a circle. And you turn it. As you turn it, you should be able to continue to keep putting them like in a circular manner. And if they start pushing down, you want to make sure you pull them up. So again, each one, you're creating a circle. And I have one more white one. I'm gonna squeeze it in here and push these together like that. So this is what you should have, like a nice kind of like circle with your roses. See? And then don't worry about these stems down here if they are all over the place. Just your circle of roses should look similar to this right here. Then you're going to go out on the exterior of it and start with the red. You're going to do the same thing with the red ones. You're going to kind of like go around the white and create a circle with the red on the outside of the white ones. See what I'm doing, guys? It looks so pretty. And again, hold the flowers tight so that way and keep rotating as you hold them tight and add a flower. I'm rotating, adding a flower, rotating. And again, if your roses have thorns, please make sure you use gloves so you won't hurt yourself. Keep going around, keep going around in the circle, keep rotating it around until you fit all the flowers that you've purchased in this bouquet, okay? Now, you can make these bouquets up to how many ever dozen you want. I just typically use 3 because that's what's in my budget. But you can go up to 100 roses or more. So, and now that we have the red all completed, all right, now that we have the one row completed, you want to make sure you do your adjustments before you start the second row. So all the flowers should be around the same length in the bouquet. It looks like this, okay? And if there's some poking up and more than others, just push them down, just so that they can, you know, look more like a circular motion like that. All right, I should have actually added more white roses, but next time I'll do that. I'll add more white roses. I'll get 2 dozen of each, 2 red, 2 white. And I'm just going around and adding the second layer of red to my bouquet. And if y'all want to know what it looks like in my hand, I'm gonna show you. It looks like this. So they're kind of like crossing over each other when I'm putting them on there. So I'm going to rotate slowly. And there's a gap here, so I'm gonna add a flower here. and I add it on a diagonal like that. And then I try to grab it, and I'm going to keep rotating. Every gap that I see, I'm going to add flowers to. So it's a gap here. I'm going to add a flower until my circular motion keeps going, okay? And yes, guys, we are making this bouquet, and once you're done, it's going to be so pretty, and the person that you're giving it to is going to be so excited and happy, I hope. Again, make sure you're making your adjustments to your flowers. Some of them going to try to just go down, but pull them back up without breaking them off the stem. You want to just keep making adjustments to the flowers so they can look similar to this, okay? Keep going, and then until you use all your flowers. Once all your flowers is done, right, you're going to double check to make sure it looks as much as possible as a circle. So you're going to go around again, pull the ones up that went down, push the ones down that came too far up, and kind of like set everything in place so it can look like similar to this, guys, okay? All right, now that we have that done, now this is the part where your zip tie comes in handy, because you don't want to lose this form. You're going to take your zip tie, you're going to go around where your hand is at, right? And you're going to place your zip tie where your hand is at. And then once you have it where your hand is holding them at, you're going to tie it as tight as possible so it can keep this form of your flowers. And then there you have it. No matter what you do, the flowers are not going to lose its shape or place. Now, don't do the zip tie too tight, just in case you have to make adjustments. All right, guys, so now our circular bouquet is completed, and you want to cut the extra pieces of zip tie off so that way they won't poke through the paper. Okay, now that these are all done, again, this can be as big as you want it. This can actually be, you can keep going if you want to keep going and make it like a big grand gesture of flowers. But for me, again, this is, I only gift maybe 3 dozens, no more than 4 dozens to friends and family, because it's in my budget. And I'm doing this myself, and I feel I enjoy when I make flowers for friends and family, because this is so cute. Imagine somebody gifting you this. It's so cute, right? So now that we have that done, we're going to zip tie also this bottom part too, just so we can make sure once we put the paper around it, there's nothing sticking through the paper or poking the paper. So we're going to zip tie this bottom part also. And you may only need 1 zip tie for the bottom, but I know for the top, no, you're going to need 2. So you got to put 2 zip ties together. So you basically put one end of the zip tie into the head. I think I put it on wrong. Did I? Oh yeah, I did. All right, like that. And you can hear that noise. Once you get it like that, then you're gonna put the other one in, and you're gonna take and zip tie the base of the flowers also. And again, you could use tape, but tape doesn't get the job done like these zip ties. Zip ties get the job done, honey. It brings all of these stems together. Now, before you put the paper on, this is when you can actually cut the roses stems down and even them out. So right now, they are all uneven. We're going to basically take our flower cutters and try to cut them on an angle for watering and make them even. So once we put them in a vase, they're sitting nice and properly inside the vase. So it should look similar to this, nice and kind of even. Okay. All right, and here we have it, one of our circular rose bouquets. It's cute. Now what we're gonna do is decide on which paper we're gonna use. Are we gonna use the black? Are we gonna use the black paper up against this? I think the black is gonna look cute. Or are we gonna do the red? I think we're gonna do the black. I'm gonna do the black. I'll save the red for another day. We're gonna do the black. So with the paper, once you staple it, you want the staple side right here where you put the creases together, facing the roses like this. Now here's when you may need tape, okay? You may need tape during this process. And what you do is, every time you put a piece or two pieces of the actual papers together, you want to tape them. And they're going to go on the roses like towards the top. You want to make sure your paper is protruding a little bit over the flower head and closer to the top of, you know, the rose stems. So this is what it should look like. Once you put the paper on, it should start looking like this around and start shaping the flowers like this, okay? And if you have to lay it down on a table to do it, you can. But you want to overlap the papers just a little bit, not a lot. You want to overlap them just a little. And I'm going to show you guys how we're going to do that. So cute though. Another trick is, we're going to set our flowers in the vase and water. Another trick is, if you want, you can pre-tape these together so that way it automatically creates the circle for you. So I'm going to pre-tape two of them together so I can see exactly what they're going to look like up against each other. Now we're going to use 5. So we're going to try to do like a half of semicircle and then leave an opening so we can wrap it around the flowers. And I am using double-sided tape. I just find it easier to layer it with the double-sided tape versus the regular ones. And then this is what it should look like, guys. Like this. Kind of like almost like a fan with a little opening, because we're going to put our flowers in. Take them out of the water. We're going to lay our flowers just like this on there. And we're going to slowly wrap the top to the flowers up just like this. Okay. Now you're going to need the double-sided tape because, again, these areas right here is going to fall. So what I do is, again, put a piece of double-sided tape or the sticky dots and connect the papers together so they can stay up in the, around the flowers. And that's why we created 4 of the petals or 5 of the petals with the paper, so we can make sure that each area is covered. So there we have it, like that. Okay. Make sure it's nice and tight. And then the last petal is going to go on wherever you feel like you have a gap at. It's so pretty, y'all, right? Look at this. It's so gorgeous. Some more tape. The double-sided tape helps a whole lot, by keeping the papers together, giving it uniformity. All right, now here we have our opening. All right, now let's close her up, nice and snug, if you can. And then you're gonna keep going with your paper like this. The more layering of paper, the more fancier I feel like it gets. And again, you're only gonna layer the paper where you see like there's maybe a gap missing. So like over here, I feel like it can use some more paper. And straighten them out. And add one more to right here. So you're basically wrapping the paper around the flower head. And then this is what it looks like, guys. So gorgeous, right? So pretty. So pretty. And then what you want to do is you're going to need another form of tape, or you can get you another handy dandy zip tie if you want, and zip tie the papers together so that way they don't move and they stay right just like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another zip tie just so the papers won't move. See how like when you let it go, it just moves? So I'm going to make another zip tie duo for the paper also. Zip ties come in handy, honey. All right, there we go. And now that all the papers are nice and taped together with the double-sided tape, you're going to grab the paper as much as you can at the top. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Like this. I'm squeezing them. And now I'm going to add my zip tie to the base of the paper so they can stay in place. Again, you could tape it if you want, but I'm going to zip tie mine because I don't got time. Make sure it's all on every last paper. All right, and then tighten your zip tie. Beautiful. Fix your papers. If you need to go back in and double side tape some of the papers together, that's fine. But this is what you're going to get once you're completely finished. This is so pretty, right? Really, really nice and elegant. But we're not done yet. We're going to add a little razzle dazzle to it. Make sure you cut off that extra zip tie, because you're not going to need it. And guys, this is it. This is one of the things that you get. It's beautiful, right? Who wouldn't want flowers like this? All right, let's add some razzle dazzle to it. So now we're going to get our nice little decorative pins and stuff like that. And we're going to add a few of these to the red roses because against the white roses, you can't see it. But once I start sticking these in the center of the red roses, it looks like nice diamonds. So just randomly place your little decorative things inside. Give it a little sparkle. Give it a little razzle dazzle. And then you can also add money to this if you want. You can create some little, put some dollars or whatever bills you want into this bouquet to give it a little bit more, you know, if it's a birthday. I try not to do every single red flower, but enough that you can see these little diamonds that's sticking out. Because it's starting to look so super cute. So you get a majority of them in there. And make sure, guys, that you put this back in some fresh water. Because we done beat these flowers up for a little bit and they need to get hydrated. So put them back in a vase with some water so they can live. And they can actually last a little longer if you add, instead of using the flower food, I've been adding maybe less than a capful of, what was it, Clorox or bleach? I think it's Clorox. Into my flowers, and they've been lasting so long. They still bloom, even though they're tight, compacted together. They still have a little wiggle room to open up. And this is what we have, a cute bouquet. All right, guys. All right, guys. So that's it for right now. If you want to wrap your stems, you can make them nice and fancy. Add little decorative bowls like this to if you want just to have some little, add a little bit more fanciness to it. You could add like a bow or ribbon around the base of it. I don't I just, because I automatically put them in a vase, and I don't want nothing like no ribbons or anything like that hanging in the water. So this is what it looks like. So cute. Look at that. It's super cute, guys. This is so cute, right? So nice. But that's it for this DIY project, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Try it out. Let me know. Drop a link in the comment. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you for coming to this channel, and let's doing a little DIY. Listen, this is going to save you guys money than having flowers delivered. And if you don't have time to go deliver flowers to your loved ones, okay. But if you have time, it's nothing like getting a set of pair of flowers from the person you care about and love the most. So this customized, personalized floral decor is so worth the time and the effort. It didn't take us long, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. Let me know, drop a comment, and I'll see you guys on the next one.